Hey guys, here we go into a video on the shoulder roll defense, and we're going to be talking about a few things. Number one, how it's not going to help Caleb Plant against Canelo, how it didn't help Floyd Mayweather against Canelo, how it's one of the worst defenses in boxing, and we'll talk about why in a second, and let's see, why it wouldn't work today, okay? Now, we're going to talk about a lot of different things, like I just said. But as the clips run, we can kind of see the difference between the way that the way that Caleb Plant and Floyd Mayweather implement the shoulder roll and their defenses, right? We can see that Caleb Plant obviously not nearly quick enough, and this scene here encapsulates it all, right? This is a perfect circumstance for the shoulder roll to be taking place. He has perfect control of the line. The right hand comes, and he misses it and gets caught with a right hand. So we can already tell Caleb Plant not a master of the shoulder roll. But what are we going to be talking about? Now, number one, if Caleb Plant intends to defend himself with this type of strategy, one of the most common defenses is penduluming off the line here. But notice that when he takes a step off the line, Canelo, this is the first round, right? Or this is the second round of this fight. I'm sure he did this in the first round too. But he catches him with the big pendulum right hand of his own, right? That big blasting punch. This is a defense that Caleb Plant likes to use as well, stepping onto the line and then penduluming off, or just using it as a regular defense, as we see Canelo kind of blasts in, just like he's been learning to do better and better, and then lands a body shot. Again, as his opponent tries to be in the shoulder roll, he's attacking the outside, right? The outside body. Now, here's where the fight starts to kind of change, right? So instead of Mayweather penduluming off the line and running away, right? He gets his... So let's break that move down a little bit. First, he's kind of neutral in his line, and the first attack comes. He transfers all of his weight to the back foot, okay? Now he's going to pendulum step, and this is going to shift his weight towards the front foot, boop, and then he's going to sit down on his front foot as he rocks back to the back foot to keep moving away, right? Because Canelo is chasing him. So back foot, pendulum to the front foot, back to the back foot. So now, what happens? Mayweather, instead of eating those shots, right? He doesn't want to keep eating those body shots as Canelo chases him around the ring, right? Now look at the timestamps, 156 of the second round, 145 of the second round. He's running away, and Canelo's chasing him with these right hands. So now, in order to not get caught with that right hand after the jab, he just ducks it, right? And we're going to talk about this in a second, but this is a key component of the shoulder roll, right? And then being able to body up with your opponent so that they can't chase you down and pendulum step you into oblivion, as we saw that Canelo was obviously going to do, right? He was landing those right hands to the body, so Mayweather has to make an adjustment, right? A lot of people are going to say this is beautiful boxing. We're going to talk about why it's garbage in a second, but this is what happens when he starts trying to do that same tactic here. But now he has no choice, okay? Now, this is one of the big problems with the pendulums, or with the shoulder roll defense, is now, notice in the beginning clips, when Canelo starts getting too close, Mayweather can pendulum step off the line. Now, sure, he got feinted here, feint with the left hand, and then he goes to pendulum step away and gets hit with the right hand to the body, right? But this is an important aspect of defense, being able to disengage and get off the line here, right? But when Mayweather puts himself in this position, he no longer has anywhere to go behind him. He can no longer pendulum step off the line and find safety, so he can only do this defense here. And as we can see, Canelo is busting it up right here. Canelo just landed a left hook to Mayweather's head, and now Mayweather's got to pretend like he didn't land it, right? So jab, he feints him, but again, remember the last time the feint came? And Mayweather pendulum stepped off the line and got punched to the body? Well, the feint comes. He tries to duck the right hand now. And now he's in the same position. He's coming back up. And Canelo's just landing a right hand to the body, right? He's not able to close the distance. Canelo's able to find the left hook. Now, we're going to talk about a few of the things that are really important here, because what Mayweather is trying to do, well, let's get through the clips, okay? This is what Mayweather's trying to do, right? He wants to bring his weight back to that back foot, very similar, and then instead of ducking, right, and then moving his body in or penduluming off, he wants to come back with the counterpunch, right? So he wants to leave the line and then come back into the line with the right hand or right uppercut or, whatever it is that he wants to make that attack with, right? But this is the problem. is this is how you're supposed to get away from a right hand, right here. See how you get to the front foot? Now, you slip the right hand, and now if Mayweather was, always had proper body mechanics, Mayweather is kind of not a very good position 1 or position 2 fighter. He fights in the neutral zone, so he doesn't actually get to the front foot and throw hooks very well. But slipping the right hand puts you in position to throw the hook, right? Or pulling away from it puts you in position to land the uppercut. Or so he thinks, right? But what it really does, it puts you in position to move off the line and then to move onto the line into that rhythm and that beat, okay? So we're going to talk about it in this clip here. As Mayweather's trying to do that same move, right? We're going to come back to these clips too, don't worry. But he gets feinted here, moved off his line, the right hand comes, and now there's the time and space in which Mayweather is either have supposed to countered with his left hook, right? Or he's going to move back onto the line with his right hand. But as he tries to move onto the right hand, because of the rhythm and timing at which Mayweather is moving away from the right hand, again, look at the right hand. He has to move away from the right hand now, but he's pulling away from it toward the back half of his line, eating the body shot. When he moves back onto the line, he's moving into the left hook, okay? Now, again, Mayweather is always there to be hit, okay? He should be countering. Mayweather should be countering, but it's not like he's really escaping all the positions in which he can't be hit. And this is going to be especially true, if he were to have a rematch with Canelo. Canelo's punch technique is much better. He's got much better power, much better control over his punches and punch placement. But look at Mayweather eating the body shot here. This is another very important idea here. We're going to talk about that in a second. Now, here he is. Perfect, right? This is perfect. 1. And now the right hand is going to go right here, okay? And he's going to roll away from it. And now he moves into the right hand. And this is beautiful. This is exactly what he wants to do. But notice, he's also eating a body shot, okay? Because of the way that this move fundamentally works, 1, now Mayweather's controlling the lead hand, right? He has control of the lead hand. Even though the lead hand went to the body, he's matching it with the correct rhythm. He matches it with the correct rhythm on the right hand. He moves off the line to roll it. But Canelo's coming back with the left hand, and he's throwing the right hand at the same time. The right hand is going to put Mayweather onto the front foot and transfer his weight this way, okay? Whether Mayweather likes it or not, okay? Look at his shoulders, how far forward it is. But that putting him there is also going to put him in line for the left hook, whether it's the left hook here or the left hook up here. As we can see, these are basically the same place, right? They're not exactly, right? They're not exactly. But the idea remains the same, that using this defense puts you on rhythm to be hit by the left hook. And therefore, early stages of the fight, and when your opponent has a decent amount of energy, or you don't have control of your opponent's lead hand super well, or control of their body mechanics, this is a very, very dangerous defense. Again, because of the fact that the way that you're supposed to get away from a right hand is getting it to the front foot, okay? Not rolling to the back foot and then putting yourself in danger of moving back onto the line into a left hook. So one of the problems that Caleb Plant is going to have, again, is that Canelo has already dealt with this style, right? And Canelo was able to kind of expose how limited it was. And the other aspect of the problem with the shoulder roll is that when you're in this position and you're pulling away from the right hand, you don't have anywhere to go, right? There's no pendulum, so you only have 2 motions, right? You slip to the front foot or you duck the right hand, which puts you in danger of the left hook. Now, we're going to talk about the last aspect of this that's also very, very, very important, okay? And it's actually the most important part of the shoulder roll defense being effective for Floyd Mayweather. And it's the fact that this part of it right here is illegal, okay? Because Mayweather has nowhere to go, he can't pendulum step back because he's placed himself on the ropes. He doesn't have a very good front foot game. We see how often he actually is able to ever slip to the front foot. So he's always trying to fight in the shoulder roll off the back foot, pivoting his weight backwards instead of forwards, right? So this means that when he meets his opponent back on the rhythm and back on the line with the left hook, he has to get completely under this punch, okay? So if Canelo throwing his left hook to the body, Mayweather's completely ducking it. Now the problem with this and why this is illegal, you're not ever allowed to put your head below your opponent's belly button. Ever. Any part of your head. This is how far Mayweather's head is below the line, okay? This is how much infraction, how much breaking the rules Mayweather's getting away with, okay? Now, the reason that this is important, we're going to take a look at another clip here. Whoops. The reason that this is important is because if Mayweather stays down here, there are no targets, right? There are no legal targets for Canelo to punch at, right? So I want you to think about that idea and the way that it relates to the rules of boxing. This is like as if he were to have done the same thing, right? Pendulum stepping off the line like he does in the beginning, where he moves so far away, right? Except that he ducks down and now you can't hit him. But then when he comes back up, all of a sudden he's in a position to hit you, right? But he went to a position that was illegal for him to move into so that he could avoid your punches. And now he comes back on the line and he's free to punch you, right? And the idea that he's able to kind of skirt the rules because he's Floyd Mayweather and he's kind of able to get away with doing this in every single one of his fights is the reason why he was able to make this style so popular or make this style work for him so well, because we can see how limited it is, right? If he doesn't actually find a way to get under that shot even, we can see that he's eating punches like he's supposed to, right? He's eating the punches like he's supposed to because this right here is a very natural rhythm and flow for how the fight will go. Jab. Oh, he tried to duck the right hand. Oh, he's eating the right hand to the body instead because it didn't go to the head. Canelo didn't bring it all the way over here. Now Mayweather's not able to get under it and close the distance, right? And smother Canelo. But again, ducking that shot puts him into a position in which on average he's not going to be able to be hit by the left hook, as we saw in that other clip. Again, here he is trying to do the ducking again. The ducking here again. Illegal. You're not allowed to do that, right? All of your legal targets disappear, right? And it's not. I have a guy on my Patreon. He says that whatever works, whatever. And like, to be honest, if you guys were my students, I'd tell you the same thing. Get away with it as much as you can. All the way up until they tell you they're going to take points for ducking below the waist, right? I'll tell you the same thing. Do it. Yeah. If Mayweather's going to get away with it, hell yeah, you're going to do it. But this is one of the reasons why Mayweather wouldn't really last in today's boxing, the way that boxing is growing and evolving. Number one, it's dangerous to do this, right? Number two, people's punch technique is much, much better. People are going to be able to hit and make him pay harder, make him pay more often for these kinds of, number one, illegal moves, right? But look at this defense, even when he's using it correctly, boom, boom, it's still not protecting him to the body. It's still not protecting all his legal zones, okay? Even when Mayweather lands the punches, right? He lands this right hand, he's still eating the body shot here, right? And like, so how do you want to say this? Anyway, okay. Just to wrap it up a little bit on that idea, the defense is illegal, okay? Because half of the reason why it's able to create safety for him in the first place is because he gets all his legal targets under his opponent's legal targets, right? You're never allowed to punch below your opponent's waistband. So if you move all the way down there, where are the legal targets, right? Anyway, so we're going to take a look at, and again, Mayweather, again, trying to come back on the line. But again, it's not free. It's not free to come back on the line here. Boom, boom. Still getting cracked right here, even though. And all Canelo has to do is maintain punching in combination. Now, we're going to talk a little bit about why you might want to use the shoulder roll defense. But real quick, we're going to talk about that actually at the end. But here we can see Caleb Plant not utilizing it even in the same manners, right? Now, number one, he is ducking below the waist, but he's not using that space to duck below the waist to close the gap between his opponent's head, or between him and his opponent and his opponent's left hand, right? So obviously, Canelo's going to be able to smack him with that. If Caleb Plant tries to be, a little more clean of a fighter, right? Because we know that Mayweather, in spite of the fact that he gets, pretty boy and all this stuff, Mayweather was an extremely physical fighter, right? Another reason why he was so hard to fight, people just probably weren't expecting that. Caleb Plant is not a physical fighter, okay? And he's not really going to be able to close the holes in that defense, again, because he's not a physical fighter. Here he is, again, just getting smacked with right hands that he should be able to catch. This is his cream of the crop right hand, but he's trying to duck it, right? He's trying to change levels. He's not actually using his shoulder to interrupt the flow of the path of the punch at all, right? He's not on rhythm. And this right here, this is one of his worst defensive moves here. All his weight is on the back foot. And instead of penduluming off the line and going this way, he tries to take a step and curl this way and switches southpaw, okay? He's going to get straight up knocked out if he does this against Canelo. And Canelo's going to do this. Canelo's going to see him make this move within 30 seconds of the first round. Okay? Because Canelo's going to put so much pressure on Caleb Plant that Caleb Plant's technique is going to crumble right away. And again, he doesn't know how to shoulder roll. All right? He doesn't even know how to do it. As we see him in this perfect position, he, just like Mayweather, he gets control of the jab, even though it hits him. He meets it here. He knows where it is. He knows where his opponent is. He knows what rhythm he's punching. He's felt it. He sees the right hand coming. We see his eyes are on it. And he just tries to turn away from it. He doesn't even get his shoulder in the way. It was perfect position for him to do that. He misses his uppercut counter too. But again, here he is again just getting walked down. And this is actually the perfect rhythm for the shoulder roll to be working. Okay? When you have control, you've slowed the pace down. Now, Mayweather liked that because he didn't like fighting in pendulum, right? He didn't really like getting big power punches. He didn't like doing that Canelo explosive pendulum punches. So Mayweather likes to slow the pace of the fight down and then use the shoulder roll to interrupt your attacks, right? Make two punches sound like one and slip one punch real quick and then enter the line and attack, right? But not really setting up big weight transitions to take advantage of the fact that you're slowing down, still waiting for you to punch at him, right? Now, again, terrible with the defense, right? Perfect. He's even taller than the guy, and he's not able, he meets him, he catches the jab, and he's still not able to roll the shot. He's still not able to time it. He's still not able to land his counter. Even though he ducks below the waist, he doesn't close the distance, right? So he's going to be eating big punches every time he does this and tries to use that technique or use that defense. And again, instead of shoulder rolling, instead of blocking the line with his shoulder here, he's just going to try to bring his weight to the back foot and slip it, right? Again, one of the problems with the shoulder roll, you're moving with the right hand, right? And then you're going to move back onto the line into the left hook. And people who punch in combination, they're just going to find that really easy, right? And again, even Mayweather, when he's getting his shoulder roll off here, he does it somewhere here. Is it here? Where is he? Here. He's not even landing it, right? Boom, boom, right? He's not on the rhythm. It's not the easiest technique, right? But again, it's not one that really works when your opponents can really punch in combination either, right? So Mayweather, usually a master at slowing the pace of the fight down enough so that you're trying to pot shot him while he pot shots you, and that gives him the opportunity to shoulder roll your pot shots a little better. But if you don't play Mayweather's game and you look to pendulum step against him, it's going to have to change the dynamics. And then, because of the fact that he fights and spends so much time there, here he is, completely below the waist at some random clip that I just randomly clicked on, right? I didn't set that up. Who knows what timestamp that was? But it's Mayweather cheating, okay? Cheating. So go look up the rules of boxing. Check it out. Yeah. Anyway, let me know what you guys think in the comments below. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. And again, yeah, Mayweather's defense, the shoulder roll, it's just like him, it's a dinosaur, right? It's a relic. It's not something that's going to hold up against today's modern age fighters who are better at transitioning their weight. They're faster. They hit harder. Anyway, thanks, guys.